Hi, this is Trinesha, and today I wanted to talk about honor. So, what made me want to talk about honor is, if I'm being honest, usually during the day I'll like have these thoughts or things that come into my mind. It'll pop in when I'm listening to a sermon, it'll pop in when I'm listening to something that's educational, I'm reading a book, I'm spending time with God. And today was a little bit different. So, I initially was going to name this video Perpetual because I was thinking about worrying and different changes and things like that. And God was saying, talk about honor. And so here I am talking about honor because I want to be obedient. And so I really just am letting God guide me because I really had nothing planned. Like I did read some things and I do have like some information on honor and things like that. But when God said to talk about honor, I did look up like a quick definition. Usually I'm like researching thoroughly and all this other stuff, but I go and I look it up and it says the highest level of respect. And when I think about that and I think about honoring God, that's exactly what my intention is. I want to give God the highest level of respect, the highest level of authority over my life, complete control over everything that I intend to do for the rest of my life. And when I think about honoring God, I think about how honoring God is being built, is following the principles of the Bible, making sure that I'm doing all of the things that make me into a good person, a good, kind-hearted person, a person who leads with love because God is love. And yes, my pendant does say love. And I just, I really want for God to be number one in my life. And it's not always, I don't want to say it's not always easy, but it's not always at the forefront of my mind. And I know it's probably hard to believe because some people are like, well, you're God all day. And it's true. And also, I still am human. Also, I'm still a woman. Also, I'm still all of these other things. And so when I think about God, God is at the forefront of my mind for the most part. Sometimes I do get distracted. Sometimes I lose focus. Sometimes things happen in my life and it throws me off course. Sometimes people enter into my life and they throw me off course. I don't think that any person is ever going to be perfect, ever going to be exactly everything that they're supposed to be without sin or anything else. Just like the Bible verse says, he without sin cast the first stone, and no one could throw a stone because everyone sinned. We are all going to be, we're not going to be perfect. We are all going to fall. We are all going to sin. We're all going to do something wrong. But what is our intention behind that? Are we honoring God first and foremost before everything else? Are we making sure that that is our intention no matter what happens during that day? Are we making sure that we are giving God the best of us, not just the bare minimum? You know how sometimes when you don't feel like doing something and you kind of give it like a little effort, you're kind of like, oh, I tried, but you know you didn't really try. Like you pretended like you were going to try, but you didn't. So that's how some of us do in our religion. Like we'll be like, oh yeah, I'll try, and like we might just go to church on one Sunday a year. Not that going church attendance shows your relationship to God. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just showing an example, telling an example. And so like you might do that and be like, "Oh, I just, don't feel like I'm as close to God as I need to be." But God might have said, "Hey, I need you to be here this Sunday because I have a word for you." Or I need you to be in this scripture every day because I need you to be learning and understanding the gospel. I need you to be adhering to what it is that I need for your life. And in order for you to hear me, we have to be like this. We have to have a close relationship. And we really like do this bare minimum thing sometimes, like, oh, this is good enough. Oh, this is all right. Like before I rededicated my life to God, that's how I live my life. I live my life like I went to church every once in a while. And I'm just being real because I know some people are like, oh, but you go to church every Sunday now. Yeah, now I do. And it's nothing wrong with people who don't or do go to church. Like I said, it's not, your relationship with God is not determined by your attendance. But I will say for me, it helps me build a better spiritual connection with other like-minded people. And it keeps me in an environment where I know that God is my number one focus. And also where two or three are gathered, there he is. And so it allows me to feel like I'm in his presence, to be there, to be around other people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing, who's all trying to build a relationship with God. And I'm not saying I know everyone's intentions, because I know some people have things like they'll say, well, not everyone in church is. I'm not worried about what everyone else is doing. My intention is to grow stronger in my faith, to be closer to God, regardless of what anyone else's intentions are. So I'm not worried about what Susie sitting beside me is trying to do, and maybe she just wants to be with somebody in the church. Like, that's none of my business. That's God's business. So I'm there because I'm trying to do better, because I want to be a better person. And Susie might have went through pain. I don't know her story. So she might present herself like that, but you have no idea what kind of demons or what kind of spiritual warfare she's dealing with on the inside of her. So it's so easy for us to just jump to a conclusion, or our thought about someone else. Like, just really just judge a person based on us seeing one thing or hearing one thing about that person, when that's not who they are. They might have presented themselves that way because maybe when Susie grew up, she was always taken advantage of, and this is the only thing that she knows. Maybe she needs someone else to tell her that this is not the only way. Maybe she needs someone to really just, without judgment, make an observation and take some time with her to show her that she's more than just that. Because sometimes people don't really know their potential until you take the time to spend time with them, to really listen to them, to really acknowledge them as a person before your prejudged conception of what you believe them to be. And when I see like people, this is just like a weird example, but there is this girl who, she is like at this thing that I went to, and we went to a couple different events and she was there. And so she's beautiful and everything else, and she's usually like to herself, like she'll talk and things like that, but a lot of people avoid her. And I know the feeling, because people, I don't want to just assume this is what's happening, but this is what it feels like. Whenever like I dress like this or I'm dressed a certain type of way, a lot of people don't talk to me. Like, they will avoid me like the plague. They will, and I don't mean like guys, because guys are just, I don't know what's going on with that. I literally just stay focused on what it is I need to do, and it's just like this magnet pulling people towards me. But for like a general stance, like when it comes to other women, they kind of like flee from me like the plague. Like, they really just are like, let me get away from this woman. And I'm just like, I'm a nice person though. Like, why don't you want to be friends with me? But no, I like totally get it. And so like when I see this woman who is equally as beautiful or whatever else, and she's at like an environment that I'm in, the same environment or something else, and people are just like fleeing from her, I make it a point to go up to that person and say, "Hey, I really like your shoes or your jacket or your hair or something," and have a normal conversation with this person, treating them with a love and kindness, because it's not her fault that she's bad. Like, and I'm not saying that in a conceited way. I'm just saying in general, like, treat everyone with love and respect. And I mean, set boundaries for yourself and standards for yourself, and also know that people are human beings. Like, just because she's beautiful doesn't mean that she doesn't want friends. Just because she's beautiful doesn't mean that she doesn't have feelings, or she doesn't have things that happen in her life that upset her, or horrible things that happen in her life. And I'm not saying that it's just got to be all bad, but this is a human being. Like, I understand you feel uncomfortable because you're insecure, but that does not mean that you treat this person unfairly or badly because you feel that way. You treat them the way that God would intend for you to treat them. And sometimes I know it's hard because, like, maybe in life people put you down, or people treated you a certain type of way, or you just feel like, well, this person has no problems because they look attractive. But that's not necessarily the case. You have no idea what kind of struggles this person went through, and they don't know what kind of struggles you went through. If they are showing you common decency and they're leading with the love and kindness, then you should be able to give them the same type of respect, is all I'm saying. And I'm not saying it because I want to make it into like this big thing, or like be conceited or anything else. I'm just saying in general. Like, I notice when I like wear my normal fashion outfits, and this is like a normal fashion outfit, and I'm just out and about, most women are kind of like, they give me like a little look like, like, oh, okay. Like older women are kind of just like, hey, because they think I'm a mom, or they'll just be nice people in general. But regular people, like if I'm like, hey, they're kind of like, like, hey, like, I really don't want to talk to you. Like, you seem like I just don't care. I don't want to be bothered. And I'm just like, okay, well, God bless you. Have a great day. Whatever else. But, but really, but then like, it's just, it's weird and it's uncomfortable when people do that. But I try to make them uncomfortable too. Like they'll be like, "Oh, hey." I'll be like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" Like I really be doing the most, and I know they'll be like, "Why is she doing all of that?" Because I want you to know, to feel the love. Like we don't have to be enemies. We could all be bad. We don't have to be like out here hating each other because we're beautiful. We don't have to be out here, and I say that because, not that every person is going to think I'm beautiful. There are going to be people that don't like me because of my skin complexion. There are going to be people that don't like me because of my height, because of the way I talk, because of my hair, because of whatever else. And that's their personal preference. And that is completely okay. You know, I'm just saying that in general. We're all beautiful in the eyes of God. So that's why I say beautiful, not because I'm trying to make it like a statement to where I'm just saying that every person in the entire world is going to want me. That's not what I believe at all. And so I just want to clear that up. But I really, whenever I see this, like we got to be against each other kind of thing, it really just makes me feel like I'm not about to feed into that. Like I'm not about to. So, I mean, I might feel badly one day, but it's not that person's fault that I feel badly. It's not that person's fault that, my hair decided to take its own shape and form today. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really it's really not their fault or their problem. They are trying to do the best that they can in their life. And will they mess up? Yes, I will mess up, you will mess up, we will all mess up. It's just a thing that's going to happen. But it doesn't mean that we have to battle against someone else because we want the same thing, or because we're both beautiful, or because we go to the same things, or whatever else it is. And what God has for you is for you. So even if it has to do with, and most of the time it's a guy, I hate to admit this, but for most women, it ends up being like a guy thing. And it's like, oh, but this guy wants this girl. Okay, that's good. You have no idea what kind of crap you would have to put up with this guy. So why are you worried about her being with him when he was never going to be the guy for you anyways, regardless if he's with her or not? He still wouldn't be with you. And I don't mean it in like a mean, sarcastic kind of way. I'm just saying what God has for you is for you. So regardless of what you do, while you're out there doing the most, while you're wearing the most and being the most and talking the most, it's not going to change someone else's perspective of what they want in you, or what God intended for you to have in your life. So you are stressing yourself out. You're worrying yourself. You're out for war, like you ready to battle somebody that's not even your enemy. This person, this beautiful woman or beautiful man, can I say beautiful man? Do people say that? I don't know, but I just did. So whoever it is, they are out in this world, and you are so busy trying to put up a defense mechanism because of your own insecurity, or turn into like battle mode, that you don't realize that this person could be someone that God's using to increase your life, to give you more blessings, to open more opportunities for you. But because you are so focused on just what the adversary put in your mind, or insecurity, any of those negative thoughts, now you are missing out on your blessing because of one other person who had nothing to do with you, which you personally feel anyways. Like when we I only say this because like a long time ago I did this. Like when we are saying something like negative about someone else, or we like feel a certain type of way about someone else, whoever it is, usually it's because of our own insecurity. It's not because they've done anything. And just be real with yourself for a moment. Don't just pretend like, because you might be around your friends, like you're in this video. So hopefully when you're watching this video, you're by yourself, so you can just really do some self-reflection and realize that, hey, you know what? I was being silly in this moment. I was doing the most in this moment. I was being over the top. why do I even not like this person? It doesn't even make any sense. They haven't done anything to me. And when you really sit there and think about it, you'll notice that it really has to do with you. It has nothing to do with the other person. It has nothing to do with the way that person looks or feels or talks or anything that they're saying or doing. Like, it really just has to do with you and what you believe about yourself, what you're telling yourself, what you are seeing in yourself, or what you have or have not accomplished in your life. And once you're the type of person who just starts to focus on what you need to fix on yourself, what you need to work on, your weaknesses, your strengths, things that you like, you don't like, being in your purpose, it will really make you not really see other people. Like, you will see them and you'll be able to acknowledge them, but it won't be like it's a competition. It won't be like, oh, this person has this, that means I'll never be able to get it. No. When God has something for you, it's for you. You don't have to worry about somebody else taking it from you. You don't have to worry about the job, the person, place, or thing, because whatever it is going to be yours. You don't have to go all out of the way just to get something that God already intended for you. And even if it's like you don't get it at this moment, you will get it. And it won't be like you have to put someone else down to receive it. You will really get it because it's yours to have. And it's so crazy because I see it happen all the time. I see like men going against men as well. It's not just a woman thing. I don't want to make this into all about like making women feel like this, or like I'm trying to paint women in a bad picture. I'm just trying to be real so that people can really look in within themselves and self-reflect and really think about what it is that they're doing. Because I think that if we spent as much time being real with ourselves as we did judging other people, we might be better off. Because that little voice in your head that's trying to make you into somebody else's enemy is the only thing stopping you from being successful. It's the only thing stopping you from your purpose. It's the only thing stopping you from being in God's will. And when you really take the time to acknowledge your flaws, it really makes you become a better person. It really makes you see that you're so busy focused on, Samantha, that that you didn't even realize that your blessing was right here. And you didn't even realize that, oh man, you know what? I do complain a lot. So maybe this is why I haven't been blessed in this area. And then when you start being more grateful and thankful because you're not focused on Samantha anymore, now God can bless you with more. Now that you're not thinking about what this person, like, that person doesn't even look like you. Y'all aren't even the same complexion. Like, like, you're spending all this time trying to focus on being like Samantha, and I know a lot of women and men are going to say, I don't want to be like that person, but yet you see them bulked up and y'all are the same weight. Or you see this person being successful and you're still working at the same job you've been at for 10 years and you hate it. Like, if you spent as much time focusing on yourself as you do judging this or the other person or hating on this other person, you would be so much better off. All of that energy, like, it pulls so much energy from you to give it to something that's toxic like that. And I'm only going to use myself as an example because I think it will be helpful, not because I just want to be that type of person and like put down someone or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, for me, when I was in my toxic relationship, I know I bring this up from time to time. It's not because I'm like making that person feel badly. It's just because I feel like it will help someone. So when I was in my toxic situation, I really put so much energy into the relationship. I really focused on all of these things that really didn't matter. I was so busy trying to like do all of these unnecessary things that didn't even matter in the first place. Like, I spent so much energy doing things that pulled from my spirit, pulled from my energy, pulled from the peace that God could have given me, that I was exhausting myself. I was literally so exhausted and drained because my energy was focused on something that was pulling too much out of me. If I would have spent that much energy on myself, do you know how successful I could have been at this moment in my life? I might be a billionaire by now. Like, that's how much energy I used. And I'm not saying I will never be a billionaire because who knows? One day I could be a billionaire. I'm just saying that When you realize all of the energy you're putting into toxic things, it really allows you to refocus your mind and refocus yourself to the things that God really intended for you to be doing in the first place. And like when you go different places and you see other people, like if you're a guy and you see other guy who looks fresher than you or whatever you guys think. I don't know what guys think, but you don't have to think about, oh man, this guy's gonna get all the girls. Like just think about what your qualities are, what it is that you're good at, what it is that you have to offer. Like, and it's not that you have to prove yourself to someone. I mean, of course, they need to know you're about that life, but in general, like the right person will notice you. The right person will see that you are a special person, and everything else. So you don't have to do the most. You don't have to be at competition with this other guy for some girl who won't even like you for the right reasons anyways. And for women too, you don't have to worry about if you dress up, you look nice, and you go somewhere, and then there's another beautiful woman. You don't have to say, oh man, she looks so beautiful, and then feel bad about yourself. Just acknowledge the fact that she's beautiful as well, and you can both be bad at the same time. Like, you both can walk in the room and command the room. You both can realize that you are both beautiful. There can be more than one beautiful person. There's no rule anywhere that says this occupancy in this location or this space is only enough for one beautiful person. Like, it does not say that on any sign, and hopefully nobody makes it after this video, but but there's no sign in a location that says occupancy one beautiful person per room. Like, now that this person walked in, all of a sudden everyone else turned into like something that's unattractive. Like, that's not what happened. It's just another beautiful person entered the room, and it's fine. Like, acknowledge that. And you know what will probably make you feel even better? Go up to the person and compliment them. Go up to the person and tell them that you like their hair, their clothes, their shoes, whatever it is. Pick one thing that you think is nice that they have, or have a like decent conversation with the person. Be nice to them, because you will be surprised how cruel some people can be to that person, because they feel like they get everything they want, or they feel like they don't need for someone to be nice to them because they have all of this other stuff or whatever else it is. Like, you don't know what type of day that person had. Like, that person may be beautiful, but they could have just lost someone. Like, you don't know what happened. And so treat people with love and kindness the way God intended you to. You don't have to worry about losing out on anything, because God's got that for you. He already reserved a spot. It's got your name on it. It's written in stone. Like, everything that God intended for you, as long as you're being obedient and serving and being patient, will be given unto you. It's not that you're going to have to do the most and run circles and jump through hoops and over and around things and go and like do the most, wearing the most, being the most, like to get this guy's attention. You don't have to do all of that. All you have to do is be yourself. And the guy that God has for you will be for you. He will notice you. He will come to you. Like, you don't have to do, you really, like, sometimes some people will say, oh, do this to get this person's attention. I'm not saying that, like, in order for someone to see you, you don't have to be seen. Of course, they have to see you for you to be seen. I'm just saying, and like, oh my gosh, this just makes me think of this funny story that happened. So I have a friend. So I have a friend who knew this guy was going to be at this place. And so she walks in and she's like, okay, well, he's attractive, and I'm just gonna stand over here in the corner, and he will eventually notice me, because I'm like, even though I'm behind all of these other people, he's gonna out of nowhere just have to come over this way and see me. Like, don't be unrealistic. That's not gonna happen, because 9 times out of 10, he's gonna go the other way and just exit. He's not gonna go all the way around the building just because he just felt in his spirit that his wife was over in the corner. Like, that's probably not going. That's probably not going to happen. But yeah, we just be doing the most sometimes. And so, in conclusion, because I don't want this to go on and on. Oh my gosh, it's that late already. So quick blurb or whatever. So I'm sitting here and it's almost the holidays and I'm getting ready. And by the time you watch this, one holiday will be gone and it'll be like the day after, or it probably won't be the day after. It'll probably be, I might drop this video the day before New Year's. So then that way it'll say one holiday went by and then there's another one coming and it'll be true. so, so I'm sitting here and working on this business stuff. I'm trying to promote this one item and I'm posting things on my sites and stuff like that. And I'm getting ready. I'm like doing the photo shoot for the items and stuff like that because I have like this area that I have reserved for like when I'm creating a new product or whatever else. So I go and I'm doing that and I'm getting this stuff together. Then I got to put all of this stuff away because, I can't just leave it out and then not be able to walk around the room. So, so I'm like packing everything back in totes and like reorganizing things and I'm making dinner because this was one of those days that I made dinner. And so and plus, I'm trying to budget. So I'm trying to use things that are within the house and not just eat out every night or every other night or whatever else. I'm trying to be a better steward of my finances. And so, so I'm doing that. And then I go make this video. I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of time. I'll do a quick, like 15-minute video and then I'll go eat and, get ready for bed. It's like probably 50 minutes that I have to eat and do my whole nighttime routine and watch a TV show before I was supposed to be heading to bed because I'm trying to be more strict about my bedtime again because I've been getting a little lenient since I was up real late those couple days. And then 2 days before, I think I stayed up until 11 one day and 10 the other, or something like that. Maybe 10. I don't know how late it was, but it was too late for me. And so I need to get back into my routine of falling asleep at the appropriate time so that I can have plenty of rest, which I did get plenty of rest, but I want to try a new thing where I have time in the morning to just take my time spending time with God. I don't just have to do it within a 15-minute window. And also when I'm like doing my few exercises, my 5 to 6 exercises that I do every morning after I brush my teeth and tongue scrape and floss and Listerine and then go and do my 3-step skincare program. And then I do the 5 to 6 exercises. And once I finish doing that, I drink a bottle of water, maybe like 20 minutes later. So the deal is, this is like a little quick pro tip. When you are drinking water, people will say, I drink lots of water all day and I still don't lose weight. Consult with your doctor too and don't drink or do anything excessively because anything at an excessive rate is not healthy for you. And so when you are drinking water, the best thing for you to do is drink water in the morning when you like the first thing you do after like brushing your teeth and then waiting 20 minutes or even I wouldn't say before you brush your teeth. After you brush your teeth, first thing in the morning, drink a glass of water. Wait 20 to 30 minutes before you eat any food. And if you're exercising, drink water. If you need to hydrate, if you need to hydrate, okay, get it together. Oof. I don't know why these videos give me indigestion sometimes. I'm like, what in the world? I'm just sitting here. Is it like age? I don't know what's going on. But anyways, so and then before you exercise, you can drink water 20 minutes before or after. And then of course, if you need to stay hydrated during your workout, you can drink water then. When you are eating, you should always drink water 20 to 30 minutes before you eat or 20 to 30 minutes after you eat. A lot of people drink their water during their meal, but it's not helping the food process. If you want your body to be able to process through all of the foods that it's doing and everything else, the best thing for you to do is to drink the water 20 minutes before or after because it'll help with the digestive system, with your digestive system, and then it'll allow the foods to be able to process through your system and for you to be able to have like a healthier gut health. So that's just like a little pro tip, and that's just something that I do that like allows me to not be as bloated or anything else because it's allowing the toxins to flow throughout my body. Like I can just not have to worry about being bloated or like feeling groggy or feeling like, it's taking forever for food to process through my system. And I just feel like, how like you eat and it's just like I don't feel like that because I drink water during the day. And I know it sounds like one of those things that everyone says, but but it really is helpful. And so like just being intentional. And I think I said in conclusion, but in conclusion, make sure that you honor God first. And when you are in a situation, I know it sounds corny, but think, what would Jesus do? Like, would Jesus treat this beautiful person badly because they're beautiful? Would Jesus treat this person badly because of who they are? And also know that being godly doesn't mean that you just select who you want to be nice to. It means that you're nice to everyone. And I don't mean letting people walk all over top of you and not having standards or boundaries. I mean, when it comes to people in general, no matter who the person is or how they behave, your job is to respect and honor God above all else. It doesn't matter who they are or what they are. You can set boundaries, you can remove people from your life if they're not treating you the right way. That's fine. And also know that when it comes to being godly, sometimes you're not going to agree with the person that you have to be nice to. Sometimes it's not going to be easy to treat someone kindly, but you should do it because you're honoring God. And in life, whenever you're thinking about what it is that you should do in a situation or what it is that you want to do in a situation, think, what would Jesus do?